Moving on to number or letter C, we see that there are now not just two parentheses situations, there's a total of three separate situations that we have to multiply together. So we're still going to distribute, but I do want to warn you about a very common mistake that students make. A very common mistake that students make is they get really excited about the distribution, and so then they take this guy and they distribute to both of these parentheses. And that is not what we are doing here. Think for a second that if you're doing something like 5 times 3x, you would not distribute the 5 to the 3 and to the x. That is not what you would do. You would just distribute it to one or the other. You would either do 5 times 3, 15 times x, or you would do 3 times 5 times x, which is 15x. So you're not distributing that multiplication. For instance, you're not distributing the negative 2x to both of these guys. You just have to distribute it to one of them, and then you're done. You've already accounted for it. Now, we've got three separate parts that we need to multiply together. And so a lot of questions tend to be, which one do I do first? And the answer is, it does not matter which ones you multiply first. You could either multiply these two together first, you could multiply these two together first, or you could multiply these two together first. They will give you the exact same answer. My challenge to you, I am going to do it one way. I challenge you to do it a different way. So I am going to multiply negative 2x to 2 plus x. So I would challenge you to either multiply these two first or these two first, and then see if you get the same answer as me, because you're supposed to. If it's stressing you out and you don't want to do something different than me, then you don't have to. But it's a nice challenge to see if you are doing this correctly, and just so that you can see it doesn't matter as long as you do it consistently every time. As long as you do it consistently throughout the problem. So I'm going to take this negative 2x and I'm going to apply it to 2 and to x. So I get negative 4x minus 2x squared. I still have that 4x minus 3 that I haven't done anything with yet. So it's just been brought down. Now all I need to do is do my FOIL distribution with these guys. So negative 4x times positive 4x, negative 16x squared, negative 4x times negative 3 plus 12x. Negative 2x squared times 4x is minus 8x cubed. Negative 2x squared minus 3 is going to become plus 6x squared. Now I'm going to go through and combine like terms. I'm going to do it from largest, I'm going to organize it from my largest degree to my smallest degree. So I'm going to focus on my x cubed first. It is still a lonely island all unto itself. And then combining negative 16x squared plus 6x squared, that becomes minus 10x squared. And then plus 12x. Next problem. This next problem is, again, a three-part multiplication all the way through. I would like for you to take a second now and complete this and write in your answer. Okay. So this is the answer that you should get. Take a second and double check if you got it right. Awesome. If you didn't, pause the video and look at my problem solving process. Catch yourself, see what went wrong. If there's something that you're noticing that is consistent in your errors, now is the time as you're taking these notes at home to take a note of this so that when you come into school the next time we see you, you can then ask your teacher, either me or Mr. Serene, to do a practice problem like that or ask for help on how to be aware of that more. All right. So we also have expansions that look something like this. When we talk about distribution, distribution can look a little bit different. It can look like it's kind of tricky or like it's hiding something. Because we can have something that looks like this, and this is a distribution problem in disguise. So what we have here is what we call a binomial. It's binomial because it has two terms, as opposed to a monomial. For C, this was a monomial because it only had one term. This has two terms, so it's called a binomial. This n is the power of the binomial, and we are going to talk about an expansion of a binomial. So if we had, for instance, x plus 3 to the first power, that just means it's x plus 3. You could put parentheses without parentheses, straightforward. When we move in to squaring a parentheses situation, it does not mean that you distribute that squared inside. It means that it's that entire thing multiplied by itself. That means that it is x plus 3 times x plus 3. That is very important. So I'll say it again. When you're raising a binomial to an exponent, it means that it is that entire binomial multiplied by itself that many times. So x plus 3 to the third power is going to be x plus 3 times x plus 3 times x plus 3. That is how you have to handle an exponent or a power with a binomial, which means you need to FOIL it. So that would become x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9, which is x squared plus 6x plus 9. And then this would be x plus 3 times x squared plus 6x plus 9, because we've just established that this guy is equal to that. So then distributing it again, we would get x cubed plus 9x squared plus 27x plus 27. Yeah. For that expansion. So it is not x cubed plus 27. That is very, very wrong. So just make sure that you realize when you're raising that parentheses to a power, it's that whole parentheses binomial, or it might be trinomial situation multiplied by itself that many times.